Greetings, everyone. Greetings from, I would love to say sunny Antigua and Barbuda, but the sun is just about to rise here in Antigua and Barbuda. Welcome to this webinar. And I'm going to just give you a little synopsis of what has happened in Antigua and Barbuda approximately for the past 10 years in relations to technology in learning. As Raymond said, I've done quite a number of training and attended quite a few workshops on technology in learning, in education. Presently, I'm the Vice Principal of the Antigua State College, and I'm in my 33rd year as an educator here in Antigua and Barbuda. All right, as an introduction, technology in Antigua and Barbuda got a full thrust in 2013 when the government of Antigua and Barbuda made heavy investment in technology devices for teachers and students. In that year, we did an ICT education policy supported by the Commonwealth of Learning, where different education stakeholders came together and we drafted a policy to guide the implementation of ICTs within our education system. Before that, we did not have a policy. We were just doing what we do. Following that policy development, the government of Antigua purchased devices for teachers and students. Every government school teacher in Antigua and Barbuda, which was approximately 1,300 teachers, received a laptop. And all the secondary school students, approximately 6,000 students, received a tablet. And then in the primary section, they had computer labs installed in the majority of these primary schools, not all. And to cover those that did not have a computer lab, there were some technology buses. There was some school buses outfitted with technology devices that would go around to the schools. During that time as well, more attention was paid to connectivity within the educational institutions. So you can say from 2013, we started putting a full force behind implementing technology within our education system here in Antigua and Barbuda. Then we move on to building the capacity. The devices were in the school system, but now we needed to have the capacity for the teachers to deliver using or integrating those devices. That started with another partnership with Commonwealth of Learning to educate what we call in Antigua the ICT champions. 25 teachers or educators, because some were in the Ministry of Education, some of us were in the school system, across the school system. 25 educators completed the Commonwealth Certificate for Teachers Integration, ICT Integration, and we refer to here in Antigua as the ICT champions. Those persons were responsible for going out to the various education institutions and provide training and support to the educators as they aim to integrating their device into their skills in the classroom. That included teaching them not only how to use the device, but bringing awareness of what is possible, what are the possibilities now that these devices are there, how they can integrate that and the content. We also did a development of open content that was held here in Antigua and Barbuda, hosted by the Commonwealth of Learning here in Antigua and Barbuda, where representative from the neighboring Caribbean islands. Now, if you know the Caribbean, we have very small islands, very close knit, just divided by a little water. But we had persons that came over from St. Kitts. We had persons from St. Lucia, Dominica, across the region, gathered here in Antigua and Barbuda to do a development of open content. And from that workshop, each country was charged with developing open content for their country as a start. Here in Antigua and Barbuda, we focus on doing the Cape Entrepreneurship Open Textbook, and that was led by teachers across the sector, but that textbook was geared towards students at the Antigua State College. So in this way, Antigua State College started their beginnings into the technology integration. Now, a little about Antigua State College. We are a small institution established in April 1977. We have 5 departments: the business department, industrial technology, liberal arts, teacher education, and the School of Pharmacy. There's an average student population yearly of about 980. We tend to go over a little bit sometimes, but an average is about 980 students. The faculty, we have 60 full-time faculty and approximately 120 adjunct staff. And we offer approximately over 400 courses across the 5 departments. Now, the process to start the technology integration at the college started with an awareness. Before, it was about 2015 or so, I did a workshop with some faculty members at the college just to show what are the possibilities that can happen with the technology, all right? And that there's no need for us to go and begin from the bottom, from the roots. We already have stem and branches out there, is as for us to gather the fruits from the previous labor. And also to share the benefits to technology use in education. The purpose of that awareness was to bring a little mindset. We have a culture that as educators, once we know something, some of us have a tendency of holding that knowledge, but if holding that knowledge really is not a benefit to the education system in which we are serving. So that was part of the awareness, bringing that understanding that there's more benefit in sharing your knowledge than holding that knowledge, and also to bring some appreciation that there are challenges and there are going to be changes in the realities of education within the system. Then we did some training with knowledge building by letting them learn about open education resources, learning about the difference between ICT integration and technology use, and also did some policy directives, set some policy directives. Now, we had a series of projects starting in 2015 at Antigua State College, all supported by the Commonwealth of Learning, and we must thank Commonwealth of Learning for that support. As I said earlier, we began with the open textbook for CAPE entrepreneurship that was done by 6 educators over a 12-month period, following the CAPE entrepreneurship syllabus. Now, the CAPE is the regional examination, it's part of the regional examination body. Here in the Caribbean, we have an examination body that serves the Caribbean region, which is the Caribbean Examination Council, and at the advanced level department, or what you may refer to as grade 12, we do CAPE, grade 12 and 13, we do CAPE. So the CAPE entrepreneurship is offered at that level. It was delivered to the year 1 and year 2 students at the advanced level department. That department is now referred to as liberal arts at the Antigua State College. The research, it began, the second component was a research on the implementation of the CAPE entrepreneurship textbook. We did a research to see how well did that impact our students that use that textbook at the time. It looked at the benefits they derived and what are the student perceptions. Many of the students did not purchase or did not have that actual textbook for the delivery of this course. So they were appreciative of the fact that they were able to have this resource that they could refer to throughout their tenure at the college. And that is one of the challenges that we have here, that at the tertiary level, we don't necessarily have textbooks as such for students to use throughout their time at the college. We rely a lot on resources that the teachers gather online and share with the students. And the textbooks themselves are also relatively very expensive as well. After we have completed that project, we went on to doing a study to determine how ready is Antigua State College for the implementation of technology. So we did that study to determine what our levels, the teacher competencies, the teacher skills, the infrastructure that we have available. All of that was looked at that point. Then that information helped us to create a policy for the integration of technology at the institution itself. That was done by 24 of our faculty and administrators, and it looked at the rationale for the policy, the faculty access, how students get access, the infrastructure, and how it will be used, and guidelines for using in teaching, learning, and assessment. We then move on to the phase 2, which looked at the implementation. Now that we have done the training and awareness, we looked at continued some additional training, yes, and then full implementation of the technology education, technology-enabled education, sorry. We started with a development of 20 blended learning courses using Moodle, also sponsored by the Commonwealth of Learning. And the delivery, after those courses were developed, the teachers who developed those courses was required to deliver those courses to our students. And that took place that started in 2021. Then we also started the process of purchasing technology equipment and setting up a studio where we can create digital resources. Whether it's the students or the teachers helping to create digital resources to be stored on a server. And then we also got some solar panels to help with the backup power here in Antigua and Barbuda, at the Antigua State College, sorry. Then we're now presently here in Antigua, we are at the college, we're now doing phase 3 that began last year, which contains with additional training for teachers, developing our open access repository. This is a progress that's in progress. We're just about starting to put that up online to allow the teachers to add their resources there so they can share with others. And then we also later this year, we'll be doing an evaluation of the courses that have been delivered through the blended learning training. We are a work in progress. We're looking for opportunities to see how we can better improve our teaching and learning delivery for the benefit of our students. Now, the outcomes that from doing all this investment of technology at the college is to host the Antigua State College online format. Presently, most of our students attend face-to-face classes, but during COVID, we found out that there is a market for persons who are interested to do their courses online, do their whole associate degree program online. And they also have working professionals who would like to do 1 or 2 courses as a professional development, but their timeline between work and family makes it kind of difficult for them to come in person. So we found that there's a market for us to deliver our courses online, hence the investment to make sure that our faculty and the environment and our technology capabilities are able to facilitate that online arm of the institution. It also looking at creating digital teaching and learning resources. One of the things that we learned at the college from the COVID is that we didn't have a lot of local content that could be delivered to our students. We found that the teachers were using a lot of content that they found online. So one of the things we'd love to do is have our teachers develop locally relevant content to support our local curriculum. So that hence another reason for the investment in the technology. And also capacity building. We have to make sure that our lecturers are at the level where they can meet the general standards of good practices within the online learning environment. Hence the delivery, the intention of having every faculty member, especially our full-time faculty member, fully trained in delivering online courses to our students, our learners. The progress, as I said, is that we have seen so far. We do have an increased use of technology by faculty and students, and the demands for devices by faculty has increased. More faculty members are asking, they would like to have a laptop, and they would love to have all the classroom outfitted with projectors. We have started that progress. We have probably about 10 of our 33 classrooms with projectors, so it's an ongoing process. They would love to see more of that. We have increased our bandwidth to address our connectivity issues over the years. Is there still some scope for some greater increase? Because at some times, especially during peak times, we find that there's a little lag there. So we find that there's a need still to do some increase in bandwidth, that which we're working on. And we have piloted so far 20 courses. Another 20 teachers will be trained in May of this year, and another 20 later down in this year, to ensure that the full-time faculty is fully trained for the full implementation of technology learning at the institution. We have a video. I'm going to show a little video of our work in progress, our studio that our teachers now have access to deliver digital content. It's still been fully fleshed out. We have devices that we're still looking to connect. The first set of devices are up and running. We have purchased additional assets and equipment to add to that to that facility. So we did a little test, and I'm going to share that test with you. You can see how we have come thus far in the use of technology at the institution.
Good morning. I'm Dr. Bufang, the principal of the Antigua State College.
And I am Jacqueline Peters-Richardson, Vice Principal of the Antigua State College. And welcome to the Antigua State College Recording Studio, sponsored by
Commonwealth of Learning.
We would like to thank the Commonwealth of Learning for their investment in Antigua State College to help us to promote teaching and learning with technology.
Integrating technology is an integral part of any tertiary institution. And we are thankful that we had the opportunity for the training and this equipment so that we can further our institution.
Thank you,
Commonwealth of Learning.
Thank you.
All right, so that was just a brief presentation of what we have done so far, the equipment that we have, and we're just looking to launch the faculty members at first to be trained in using the devices, the equipment there, and then how they can use it to develop digital content for their teaching and learning. All right, so that here ends my brief presentation of technology and learning in Antigua State College, at the Antigua State College and Antigua and Barbuda.
I'll turn the floor over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Jason. And it's lovely to be back again with you presenting for this particular program. I'll just share my presentation with all of you. So like Jacqueline, we are also discussing today how the technology-enabled learning project has been implemented at Meyer College of Education. Meyer College of Education is one of the oldest colleges of education in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, which is in the northernmost part of India. We are almost 4 decades old, and we are one of the most sought after teacher education institutions in northern India. And technology has always been a way of life at our college, and we have been experimenting with different technologies both in and outside the classroom, in the teaching learning process, in assessments, and especially in students training. But in recent past, the focus on technology has dramatically increased. To take on this discussion further, I'm dividing the whole technology journey into 2 phases. I would call them the pre-COVID phase and the post-COVID phase, because what all has happened in technology and how we've come to realize that technology is the savior in difficult times. I think it would be apt to divide the use of technology in these 2 eras. In terms of the background of our institution in pre-COVID times, our main focus was on integrating ICT into the teaching learning process. So the main focus was on just teaching using technology. And we prepared specialized lesson plans with technology integration and integrating ICT pedagogies into our lesson plans. It was primarily focused on the use of projectors and whiteboards, interactive whiteboards, with which the teachers experimented. And most of the teaching happened using PowerPoint presentations. So these were the 4 important aspects of the initial use of technology in our institution. When we were more focused on how the delivery of the content has to be done using technology for the benefit of the student. But when the COVID-19 outbreak happened, everything changed. There was a major shift in focus, because all that setup that was in the classroom, all the technology and the ICT integration that happened in the classroom was of no use. Since everyone was at home. So the entire learning system had to be shifted online. So from classroom-based teaching to online teaching, and the focus shifted from the classroom learning environments to the web-based learning environments. And actually we thought that although there was a lot of focus on using technology in education, but it is only in terms of adversity we found opportunity. Teachers were, regularly being trained in the use of technology, and everybody was quite at ease with using technology in the classroom. But when it shifted online, it was a totally different ball game, and everybody had to adapt and adopt new systems of teaching and learning, staying at home and at a distance, and using the virtual learning environments to collaborate with their students and fellow faculty members. So this adversity brought on this, major opportunity when everybody jumped on this internet bandwagon and started exploring the teaching learning process in that background. And in fact, it is only at this particular point in time, the real impetus of adopting technology in all phases of the teaching learning process, whether it is just delivering the content, storage of information, access to information, and assessment of students, all had to be thought of in a virtual learning environment. During that time, we had two choices. We were already experimenting with the G Suite for Education, which is the Google platform, and has different tools which can be used by teachers and students for different activities. And then there was the most popular Zoom platform, which we adopted. So what we did was we broke down our delivery and in terms of different activities in these two platforms. So the Google Suite was primarily used for all online classes. There was an excellent tool on the G Suite, which is called the Google Classroom. And this Google Classroom is kind of a mini LMS. I would not say it is a complete LMS, but it's a mini LMS that helped us in bringing all the classes, all the students and the teachers on one single platform where they could interact, collaborate, and share resources, which was a great boon during the COVID outbreak. So we conducted all our online classes using the Google Classroom platform. We started the process of submission of assignments. We distributed the study material to the students, so it acted as a repository. We also gave away quiz assignments, so objective type testing started happening. In fact, we conducted all our midterm and end term assessment examinations also using this platform. So this really made the task of assessing the students easier. There were many difficulties because many of our students did not have laptops. Many of our students did not have strong internet connectivity. In the initial phases of the COVID outbreak, we also had restricted internet services due to certain political situations in our region. But still on 2G connectivity, students were able to attend classes. Maybe they could not see the video, but they could definitely hear the teacher. Since they did not have computers at home, many of them, they use their mobile phones very actively. So the process of checking of examination was to click a photograph from your paper or from the open book question that had been given to you, and you uploaded that in the Google Classroom. And then teachers also used online tools like Kami, etc., to tick mark those papers and check those papers and assess and also release the results of the assessment, and also allotted grades to the students. And then the G Suite for Education also helped us in acting as a repository for video lectures, because all our lectures were recorded, and if due to connectivity issues students were not able to see the concurrent sessions, they were always able to see those sessions at a later date and time when they had better internet connectivity. So the students were not left alone, and the students always had access to both the distributed repository by the students in terms of their resource material, and also the video lectures that were recorded by the students. And then the Zoom platform was used extensively for conducting webinars. It was that time when most of the experts were also at home. In earlier times, it was difficult to get hold of an expert, invite them to our institution, maybe bear their traveling costs. But then these webinars have become the real game-changing activity during this time, and they still are. Like today, we are interacting at two ends of the globe with each other through this medium. So we conducted all our webinars through the Zoom platform, and many of our faculty who were conducting classes which required a lot of written work, or where there were more of mathematical calculations or computation of statistics, etc. And they were using tablets and other devices. So Zoom platform was a boon for them for having that connected environment, especially with their devices like the iPads and even their Samsung tablets, etc. So that really helped us in amalgamating both these platforms. In fact, all the sessions on Zoom, they were also recorded, and those files were later on updated into the G Suite. So the sessions that were conducted on Zoom also were available to students through that Google Classroom platform. These two platforms were used to the maximum. This is just a snapshot of how these classes were done. On the picture on the left hand side depicts a faculty member, Google Classroom setup. We can upload our classwork, we can see the students, we can give the grades, and it's a good way of connecting and collaborating. And the screen on the right shows that how the teachers had uploaded their material for students to use. So it could be in the form of PDF files, it could be in the form of web links, it could be in the form of YouTube videos, it could be in the form of any video format lecture, and any type of resource or media could be shared with the students. So the e-learning platform provided by Google was a saving grace for all the educational activities to be continued during the COVID times. But at the end of all of this, there were so many tools that we were using that it at one point of time became confusing that what would be the right way to go ahead. So we were using YouTube, we were using the quizzes platform for doing quizzes. We just started experimenting with Moodle, although we were not very big on Moodle, but WhatsApp was a major communication device that the platform we were using. And we used softwares like Screencast-O-Matic and Presentation Cube to record our lectures for the students along with presentations and put them up on our YouTube channel for students to see. And then we also tied up with platforms such as Coursera and LinkedIn, because during the COVID times, these were all free. Now they have become paid, but our students were allowed to pursue any non-credit courses and for teachers to do their professional development programs on the Coursera and the LinkedIn platforms. So these were great learning opportunities during that time. So considering all this, since everything was so much scattered, we thought that it would be wise to take a professional opinion as to how things need to be taken ahead. And then came this blessing in disguise, which is the Commonwealth of Learning Technology-Enabled Learning Project. We are so thankful to Commonwealth of Learning for actually guiding us and for enabling us to be on the right track for using ICT in teaching learning process. This technology-enabled learning project really helped us to get insights into how exactly technology is being used worldwide and what are those best practices that we as an institution could adopt in improving the teaching learning process at various levels. So as Jacqueline said, that they also went through this program, and recently we are just starting with our phase 3. In the phase 1, we were all made aware of the C-Delta program, which is the Commonwealth Digital Education Leadership Training in Action, through a workshop. And then there was a platform that was enabled for our institution where all our faculty and students were enrolled, and they all took part in the MOOCs. And it was a great learning experience because there were many connotations that were earlier available with us, and our assumptions were tested because we were thinking of technology being something else. But after going through this program, it was a really eye-opening experience for all of us. And this platform has a very beautiful structure. It is well organized, and you have a pre-test and a post-test, so you can test your assumptions before going through this program, and then you can test your knowledge after you've completed this MOOC. So it was a great experience for us. Then during this project, we also conducted a baseline report of the institute, and this was a very good starting point for all of us as to where we are at the moment. What kind of technology are we using? What are the students actually wanting? How are the teachers, going ahead with planning of their teaching learning process? What kind of technology support is being offered to students and teachers? What kind of infrastructure is available with the institution, and so on and so forth. So it was an a baseline study that we conducted, and the results were really encouraging that we were on the right track, but there was a lot more to be done in terms of the progress that the institute could make, especially with regards to TEL implementation. And then we also developed a TEL policy. And this was indeed one of the most important, or I would say the best practices that we were undertaken. It was indeed a way to understand how the policy needs to be developed, considering the requirements of all the stakeholders. And this was indeed, a great learning experience for all of us, because we thought that all the 4 areas that this policy touched, which is technology and infrastructure, the teaching, learning and assessment, the professional development, and the governance of TEL, paved the way for us to adopt technology in a major way in our institution. And as part of phase 1, we were also made aware of the learning management system, that is the Moodle platform. Earlier, we knew what Moodle was, but we did not use it, in terms of adopting it at the institutional level. We were doing small experiments with our students and some faculty members here or there, but to institutionalize this whole platform was a great experience for us. And then we also developed the OER distribution platform, which is the open access repository that the institution is developing. We have just started that project, and a DSpace server has been purchased by the institution with the support of COAL. We are now in the process of populating, and this would be one of our projects going ahead in terms of the technology enabled learning project. Another important aspect of this project was the phase 2, wherein we were supposed to develop the blended learning programs. Initially, it was only a set of 20 teachers that were identified for the pilot project in our institution. So we selected 20 topics from different programs to be prepared as blended learning courses. Then there was a workshop that was conducted by an expert from COAL, which was both online and on campus. So it was a full 3 to 5 days intensive workshop where all faculty members understood the nuances of developing a blended learning program, considering the 4-quadrant approach of the MOOCs. And they were able to, develop this particular project, and we launched these blended learning courses for our students. These projects ran for 2 to 3 months period, after which the students were assessed. And at the end of the phase 2, we did a research study which has just been published on the COAL Commons website, which shows how the students' learning experiences, blended learning mode, were assessed with the research study. So it was in all a great learning experience for all of us, and we thought that this was the right way to go. And phase 2 actually triggered that researchers' instinct in all of us, and all our teachers were really buoyed by the results of the study, and the new proposal for taking our blended learning programs is now being pushed forward. And based on the results, we've developed the road ahead, and we are working on how we can take the blended learning programs and the whole adoption of technology enabled learning in our institution ahead. So what we plan to do from this year onwards, that is starting in July, when our new session starts, so we'll be developing blended learning course content across all programs. So right now we have 8 programs being run in the institution with a total of about 450 students. So all these 8 programs will be having blended learning course content, which would be divided into different semesters. We would be continuing with the training of teachers. Since the phase 1 and phase 2 were pilot projects, and only 20 teachers were taken for training from 2 of our institutions, we would now be doing this training session for all our faculty members who were earlier missed out during the proposed, the phase 1 and phase 2 of the TEL project. Based on our Moodle platform, we would be launching our first online diploma program, which would be a big initiative for us because this program would be run on completely online asynchronous mode. And we would be promoting this particular diploma program so that students from anywhere in the world could enroll and complete this diploma program. And this diploma program would be launched by our Center for Educational Technology, which would be developing a diploma program on incorporating ICT in education. And this would primarily be focused towards teachers who are in schools and who are finding it difficulty in integrating ICT in their teaching learning process, and for all those teacher training institutions where they are preparing would-be teachers, and for them to develop and get this diploma and develop these skills, ICT skills, before they actually get jobs in schools would be of great importance to them. We would be recognizing and facilitating our faculty members who would be nominated for the OER and the TEL champions, because our faculty members are now completely involved in developing their blended learning programs, and they would be developing their open educational resources. We would be adding new technology, hardware and equipment in classrooms. So we are just finalizing in the next week adoption of large interactive screens, 75-inch screens with computers inbuilt, and these would replace the traditional projectors in the classrooms, and this would really help our teachers in delivering world-class content and high-quality content, utilizing various multimedia in their teaching learning process. We would be setting up a new lecture capture system, because whatever good things are happening in the class, they should be preserved and for students to review later on. We would be populating our OERs developed on the DSpace server platform. So hopefully in another 3 to 4 months time, we should be doing that, and our librarians from our institution are also being geared towards updating information, and this would also be a freely accessible and an open access repository for anybody to come and see. And then we would also be exploring the use of artificial intelligence in teaching and learning. And as we know that new strides are happening with technologies like ChatGPT and GPT-4 that has recently been launched, and many institutions are wary of how the use of AI in teaching learning will happen. But irrespective of what everybody thinks, or how or how much skepticism there is about the use of AI, the future is here to stay. And without having AI into our learning management systems or other teaching learning processes, the next generation of learning management systems cannot be developed. So whether it is today or whether it is tomorrow, the use of AI in teaching and learning would have to be adopted at some level for all of us. So this gives us an idea about the road ahead, because again, a big thanks to the Commonwealth of Learning for enabling us to think in the right direction in future, and for taking the technology bandwagon to the entire gamut of teaching learning process, whether it is delivering of content, whether it is assessing students, whether it is preparing open educational resources. Without their help and without their guidance, this would not have been possible. We hope and believe that the institution going ahead would keep on doing the excellent work that it does in the field of technology, and we'll have many more milestones to overcome and to also achieve. In fact, with these new technology developments, our institution was also awarded as one of the most tech-savvy colleges in North India, which was again a matter of achievement for all of us. And our case study was also published in a recent publication as one of the top autonomous colleges in the region that is adopting technology at all different levels and different programs across the institution. So we are very happy with the progress that we are making, and hope and believe that all faculty members will join together to even do better in the future. And this is our roadmap, and this is how I would like to share, my journey or our institution's journey with all of you. Thank you so much.